Bonjour, I am Valpray with the Notorious DID. I would like to discuss with you today a topic that has to do with when you switch and the other party has been in an emotional difficulty. As you know from the video yesterday, if you've not seen, go ahead, go see that Susanna was very, very upset. She worked on with Soloro. Upon her get upset, she were not cook on at that point. She was at the forefront. So a lot of things that are supremely emotional can create grounding, I guess, in the body because emotions are the strongest that you will have in the body. So this is my assumption. I'm not a medical professional, but I do think that that is most likely what occurred. When this occurred, I am the one who has the ability to, no matter what's take place, I have the ability to come into the body and to take over if need be. Now, Susanna, of course, was not comfortable and she wanted to go back in, and I respect that. So realizing that Solora was no longer co-con with her, I guess that kind of triggered myself. With the ability that I have, a lot of times it will trigger me. I will have sometimes people, individuals yell or try to get hold of me, yell my name and things of this nature. If they feel they need to change out or somebody else needs to take over because of what's going on, a lot of times my name will come up and I will hear it and I will have the ability to come forward. If not to stay, but uh, to definitely take over for the party that is in distress. So she were in distress and required somebody else to take over. This automatically, she did not call me or anything like this. This automatically took place. Like I say, I'm guess because I have that ability, it triggered it for the body. She was in great distress, the body or the mind or whatever it is that requires the trigger to bring me forth to take over, it did so. Now, when you're taking over and switching out into a situation like such, where she were very distressed, very upset, so you're coming into a body that has tears, that has the sniffles, um, because of crying, that has maybe sometimes a physical strain upon it because of the fact that just because a different person is coming into the body is still the body. So the body still underwent whatever took place, and that situation is still there. And you yourself, you're not emotionally distressed, you're not emotionally upset, you as yourself are not. So the body, it still has to clear out that emotion. If that, if you can understand what that means, The body went through that emotion, no matter who it was that was there. And even if I come in and I'm fine, I'm not stressed, I'm calm, and I don't have the problem that took place prior in the body is still has the residual issues of what did take place prior. So there are times that you come into the body, depending upon what the issue may have been. There are some of us, like say Solora, she is has a lot of anxiety issues. She can have panic attacks. The other day when she was co-con with Patrice, who is a very negative, very highly negative motivated is the nice way to put it, I would say. She did have an extreme panic attack. At that point, as those that are like Laura or Solora, a lot of times they will yell and try and get to me because they know I have that ability. And if it's serious, a serious situation like a panic attack, of course, is a serious situation for that individual, then I came forward. And when I came forward, this closed out the cocon that Patrice and Solora had, and it released Solora to be able to go inward and be able to calm down and be able to not have the stresses and strains that are produced when you are actually in control of the body. So does that mean when we're inside, we don't have the same emotional components or the same emotional problems? That's a very good question, because I don't believe so. I don't believe so. When we are inside, I am one of us that is starting to believe it is kind of a dormant situation. No matter how amped up you are or how stressed, because I would look at it like this. In that particular situation, she was having a severe panic attack. If when she goes inside, she's still active in some way, shape, or form and not dormant, then there would still be that emotion. There would still be, you would still be able to hear her, and you would still be able to know and feel somewhat of what she's feeling, because we do end up feeling a lot of the things that the others are feeling, no matter if it's our own emotion or not. Like I say, when I came into the body, I was not distressed or anything like this, but could I feel the leftover distress that Susanna had? Absolutely. You mentally feel a residual, well, our our group likes to call residue, which you do. Emotions are a very chemical and electrical response, and you can end up feeling deeply what the other party was feeling. Even if you come and you're fine and you're calm, you can still feel, or at least at the very bottom of the pile, sense there was something of great distress that took place. If this is if you don't specifically know. I am lucky enough to be able to access the memories. I'm lucky enough to be able to access what took place for the most part. I am lucky enough to have a sense of what is going on. I am guessing that certain abilities is what allows you to be one of the primaries, or as some systems call the hosts, or whatever word you want to use. We use primaries. And you have to have, prior to having these specifics, it was and can be very distressing, very confusing. There's a lot of, do I say, oh, that there's no amnesia for the primaries? No, I do not say this. A lot of times you can think you know something distinctly, and it's just not true. A lot of times you can believe that you are completely understanding what happened, what took place, and it's not always true. Not always true at all. Amnesia periodically, no matter how much of a grip you think you have as an individual within the system, there's always going to be the dissociation, there's always going to be the amnesia, there's always going to be the complication of what is. And that's the best way I can put it. What is not always easily grasped. But I wanted to share that because I want others to understand that in this particular situation, in high stress levels, even when you switch out, the body, the body is the body. If you have one person in position and their blood pressure goes sky high because they're having a panic attack or because they're stressing out or they're upset, the body is not going to be able to just go back down to ground zero just because we changed out. In a lot of ways, the body, its situation is not directly, or at least not quickly directly linked with anything to do with the mind as far as when we come forward. When you think of anybody individually, if their stress levels are super high, it's going to take a second for the body to release those stress levels and drop back down. And that's no different if we're switching out and that takes place. So hopefully that's a little bit of a better understanding physically, chemically, mentally of what can and what does take place for you and for us and for other systems. I thank you for coming to share with us. Please comment. We welcome your comments. Please subscribe if you wish to come back and see us constantly. Hit the notification bell. You'll be one of the first to know. Share so that we can get a further understanding through reaching more people to help with D.I.D awareness. This has been Valpray for the Notorious DID, and I say adios.